Yeah, I'm go by the name 2Sides slash Sharp Deadly Mike Math, also known as a producer, 2Beats Production. Basically, you know, my style and my vision and everything still trapped in the 90s, you know, in the 90s, in the golden year, wonder year hip-hop.
What you think about the future of rap music?
Well, future of the rap music, you know, that's a tricky question. You know, you cannot predict the future, because there's a lot of fakeness going on down there, man. In the artist world, you know, we're talking about not only about the music wise, but all element tree, you know, all element styles. So, you know, like whackness and a commercial thing is overtaking the game, but slowly now the streets taking back, you know, taking over again, you know. Slowly, a bit by bit, you know, people coming back, you know, more and more activities with the home studios, you know.
Yeah.
People, you know, has been trapped in the golden era. They, you know, they joining the forces bit by bit, you know, and striking ringtone rappers, you know, what I'm saying, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
They're more like a sale agents, you know, in these days, you know.
Yeah.
You're not talking the music, you know, the struggle, the real definition of the hip-hop, you know. You're talking about rims, cars, you know, asses and everything. And, you know, selling a dream for starving kids, let's say this way, you know.
Yeah. What is hip-hop for you?
Hip-hop, you know, it's like a Bible, you know, for me. It's like a Bible.
Yeah.
Hip-hop, you know, it's a culture.
Yeah.
You know, it's a movement, the way that you live, you know.
Yeah.
The way that you talk, you dress, you know, and obviously, you know, what sort of, you know, element you represent as well, you know.
Yeah.
It's about representing your culture as well, your flag, your roots. It's about the knowledge as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's like not only by, you know, word places is also about the teaching, you know. It's like testaments, writing the testaments, leaving something after yourself, you know.
Yeah. Did you ever practice any other element besides rapping?
Yeah, it started as you know, as fun, but later on, you know, it become more professionally, you know.
Yeah.
In Lithuania, like I was together, stuck with the, you know, with the cousins, with the peeps together, you know, was involved in a professional like breakdancing.
Yeah.
Afterwards, you know, it was like, man, I pick it up, you know, the pen. Well, I was already drifting with the pen, you know, writing the lyrics down, you know, trying to rap and everything. So, but yeah, I took more seriously to another level of rapping and then just like the breakdancing, you know. But I always had the passion, you know, and everything about the break dance, you know, about the funk, you know. There's loads of like producing wise, you know, when I'm making the beats, there's loads of funk, you know, break dance music, you know, involved, and you know, break beat is involved in my instrumentals, you know.
Did you start rapping and then making beats, or the other way around?
No, I started first rapping, you know. It was like more, you know. Write it down. The first lyrics came up, you know. We didn't have the money, we didn't have the opportunities to record, we didn't have the good beats. You know, that was another issue we had to
What
fix.
age did you?
Roughly, I was like 12, you know. I was
12,
like 12, yeah.
It's when you start to understand life, yeah?
Basically, it's all the streets, you know, in Lithuania, where originally I came from, you know. It was like in 95, 96, the old boom of hip-hop just came there, all the all the fashion, all the, you know, all the, like, basically started to listening, you know, by listening to other artists like, you know, Wu-Tang, Gangstar, you know, Big L. Well, Africa Bambaataa, you know, Run DMC.
Yeah. What about beat making? When did you start making beats, and why? Why did you start making beats? Because you're already a rapper at this time, yeah?
Yeah. One of the main things why I started making the beats was basically we had the lack of good producers.
Yeah.
and the producers was out there in industry. They was like expensive, you know, and like too cocky, too pushy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and basically, you know, it's like, nah, man. It's like, even then, though, there's like, there was nothing that you like, maybe you don't feel or whatever, so you come up with your new ideas. So I remember, you know, my boy coming up with a hacked reason, and it's saying, man, there's a program, man. It's like a top-notch, man, program. We're going to make some beats, you know. When we started, you switch on the first window, it's like, I was looking, what the fuck, man? It's like, this is totally galaxy space to me. But, you know,
reason was high, wasn't it?
yeah, man, it's like, and then you would like, we're spending, you know, weeks, months down there, you know, making the beats and everything, and then it came up, and then it's like he was like, you know, attaching your style, your lyrics and everything, and it was going forwards, going well, you know, and by the years, you know, I was like, you know, was looking to it more passionable, you know, buying the things slowly, you know, collecting in the studio, you know, bought the drum machine later on, you know, mixers, you know, micro corks, keyboards, you know, MIDI controllers, like decks and everything, you know, it was like mics, you know, amplifiers, mixers, like digital vinyls and everything, you know. It was like, you know, I was like really into deep, you know. Yeah. Into the thing, and then it's like every year it was going forwards, better and better, you know, was growing more and more on the beat making, lyrically wise as well, you know. Yeah.
Well, talking about into deep, how did it all started, man? Tell us.
Yeah, basically is like I was mentioning, you know, a small part of it, and it was like like, you know, it was like one day, man, I have to, you know, put something together, you know. It's like time to make my own thing, you know. It's like getting better skill wise on the production, on the beat making, and you know, producing and grabbing another MCs, another artists in the projects and everything. So I slowly start to put together a studio, you know, and like, you know, here I am.
Yeah. Tell us about projects, man. What have you got?
Projects, man, we're talking, you know, I'm like international MC, you know. It's like I was
you go your solo coming out, yeah, soon. Yeah. So tell us about this. Tell us about this adventure. How is it going?
Is going to be like a lot of international MCs involved, you know, a lot of artists, you know, it's like a lot of heavy beats and like, well, there's going to be tough album. We're talking about people in the collabos from Japan, from, you know, France, from Germany, you know, from Lithuania, you know, from Portugal. You know, obviously we're going to hear and listen a little bit of elements of the global art, you know, style in a few of the tracks. And yeah, man, there's going to be loads of artists, you know. I cannot reveal the names yet, you know, and everything, but there's going to be some heavy stuff going on, some heavy beat combinations, heavy samples.
That's good news, man.
You know, like jazzy, funky, you know, classical stuff, you know. It's like 90s.
What's your kind of rap?
If we're looking from the beat making perspective, you know, it's like obviously Pete Rock. Pete Rock is like from when it was together with the CL Smooth, you know. It's like it was God to me, like, you know, reminisce of the you know. It's like, oh man, when I heard the track first, like, it's like, man, it's like, whoa, I loving it, you see. And then until now, he's a top-notch producer. Also, after him is like going DJ Premier. It's like I have a loads of influence, you know, in my beat making and everything. And also Guru itself from the Gangstar is like philosophy wise, you know, lyrically wise as well.
Good writer, innit?
Good writer. He's always involved in the message, so it had a big influence for me as a MC, you know. Also, what we have from like Jazzy Jeff, DJ Jazzy Jeff, you know. Well, Jay Dilla, obviously, but it came out afterwards, you know. He's like, his beats was like heavy, you know. I was like, wow. And then Ninth Wonder, obviously, you know, Alchemist. It's like proper
people.
You
What,
know?
what,
It's like
what about MCs, man? MCs.
Marco Polo now coming up as well. It's like,
Polo.
top notch, man. It's like you're just happy to see people who's trapped in the 90s still doing the stuff, like fighting against them, you know, synthetic artists, like, you know, whack, you know, producers, MCs, you know, even like, you know, it's like graffiti making. It's not the same anymore as it used to be, you know.
Yeah.
Used to be bombings and everything, you know, less cameras and everything. There used to be more movement, you know. You used to see more b-boys outside dancing and everything. Now it's like it's just become everything synthetic now.
It is, man. It is.
And
what about MCs, man? MCs. Tell us
man,
about MCs.
Top notch, man. For me, is like would be KRS-One. I'm looking.
KRS-One, yeah.
KRS-One is like teacher.
Yeah. This is what hip hop is all about, isn't it? Is as you said before, teaching. Yeah. We have to spread the word, isn't it?
You see, is knowledge is very important.
Yeah,
it's very important. You know, in the hip hop, you see, it's like in these days, many artists they spit and they try to spit. You know, but if you don't have to score in the beat or whatever, you know, that's nonsense. I heard a few artists saying, you know, you have to score in the beat that makes you real. No, it don't make you real. You have to live the street. Yeah. You have to know the hip-hop, you know, the definition of the hip-hop. You need to know the roots, you know, people who started and everything, you know. It's like, and then obviously you have to divert everything and then drop in your own lyric and your own knowledge, you know, teach a new youth as well, you know.
Yeah.
It's like only minority of the fighters from 90s now fighting against the brainwashed majority now these days. Electric music wise, you know, this sort of thing is like electric, like, you know, Africa Bambara.
Yeah.
You know, it's like as well big influence for the b-boys and everything, you know.
Yeah. And for the real hip hop as well.
Yeah. Naughty by nature, you know, like you know, well, gangsta, you know, we have to look to a gangsta, you know, step into arena, you know, the moment of truth, you know, this sort of thing, you know, it's like royalty, you know, the like man, these heavy tunes, man. Also Big L, you know, well, we're talking about Rakim. Rakim made a big influence as well for me, you know. Well, these sort of main artists, you know, well, with Tribal Called Quest, you know, as well, you know, this sort of thing. Mainly mine was just like Big L, Gangsta, you know, Pete Rock, CL Smooth, and everything, and KRS-One, you know, is in between there, you know, like, as well, you know, the Big L, the all innovation in DITC, you know, it's like, you know.
Yes.
You know, well, Lord Finesse as well. Lord Finesse is like, you know, you cannot forget about him.
Have you go on Lithuanian names back then when it all started? When it said
we had Lithuanian names. It's like in '96. 96. There was one group. It was like before '96. There was a couple of like, you know, lads try to do it, you know, and everything. But they was like, you know, how to say 50-50. If you look from these days, like you have to give them props, you know, what they done it back then. But now in these days they become, you know, commercial and everything. They that's the thing that I don't like, you know. That's why I look negatively to these things. But another group, Uzi as well, in '96 they dropped first cassette, you know, like man, it's like a couple of tracks. It's like, yeah, man. You could hear a little bit of influence of Das Effects, you know, down there, in their style. But in Lithuanian language, it's like the wordplay they was dropping. And then it's like afterwards, you know, a couple of groups, you know, they came back from overseas, you know, put the labs together from the money that they earn and everything, and started to do their own movement, you know. And that was the time that I went in UK and start, you know, like I took my block, you know, my language, my knowledge from the streets in Lithuania where I was living, because the hip hop in Lithuania don't stop down there. You need to carry your word around the world, you know, share your knowledge, whatever happened, you know, how you was living, you know, And that's my vision, you know. It's like you have to take it somewhere, you know, another level internationally. You just
right.
don't lock up in your block or
Yeah,
in your
yeah,
streets or in your country.
Yeah.
Many artists is like, they thinking, Lithuanian is like, we're gonna drop in Lithuanian. Like, no, this is only for my people in the streets. So like, you know, no, this is not the way. You need to express your word, you know, internationally. Around the world, you know, and that was my vision, you know. It's like, you know,
hip hop is universal.
And when we started Click Elements of the Global Art, you know, that was our vision, you know, different flags in one, you know, like, man. and it was like a whole another level and different forces. Like it was mad, you know, mad. You know, like obviously the album is coming up, Global Artillery.
Global Artillery.
Yeah, man. You make sure you cop that.
Stay tuned, man.
Yeah, stay tuned, man.
How is hip hop nowadays in Lithuania?
Well, it's hard to say, man. There's some new peeps coming up, you know. Some underground. They used to be, you know, how to say, quiet, you know. Some people trapped in the 90s. You know, they releasing a few tracks bit by bit, you know.
Yeah.
There's loads of whack ones, you know, who start, you know, and lift up their name. By the radio, you know, and everything, you know, with the commercial songs and everything. Now they try to do, you know, sort of, you know, like not underground, you know, it's like so, you know, golden year hip hop, but you know, it's like my vision that, you know, the way they started, you know, commercial wise is not the way, you know, because back in the days, like to come up, I could do it, you know, probably. At the moment, I would be in a better place than I am now.
Yeah.
But the belief and not selling your soul by this way, you know, you like...
Graffiti-wise and everything, how is that?
Graffiti-wise, man, it used to be loads of graphers, like back in the days, like really good ones, you know, but used to be like the graph writers, you know, they used to be like more bombings and everything, you know, used to be like... These days, there's a lot of new artists coming up, you know, who's like, you know, but it's more legal wise, you know, the walls that the government gave it to them and everything is like, or in the events and everything, this sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Back in the days, it used to be more raw, you know, that's what I'm saying.
B-boys and DJs, how is it? Is it okay?
DJs, yeah. Couple of them as well coming up, you know, the old ones, they still doing their thing as well, you know. Playing some nice stuff in the clubs and everything, you know.
Yeah.
Like as well, doing the collabos, a bit of cuts, you know, I had as well, you know. B-boys itself, like, well, there's a new generation, new kids growing up down there, you know. It was like, somebody's, you know, still doing something. But back in the days, it used to be like more larger, you know. Like when I started dance as well, you know, I was like involved with one of the major breakdance groups, you know, forming. You know, I had a big influence. Just a couple of peeps that I know, you know, just introduced to a couple of other people, and they become as a team later on, like a big team, and they became Lithuanian champions and everything. Yeah, so I was involved with them movement, you know. Real time Modifi, you know, shout out. For all the peeps, you know who you are, you know, the old ones. Now the younger peeps, they overtook the name and everything. They still, you know, a couple of old ones left, but you know,
but they
mainly
the
old ones, is like they just separated around the world and everything, you know. Who created the group and the name itself? Give a big shout out to them, you know.
Hip hop in Lithuania is getting big, yeah. It's growing.
Yeah, it's growing, you know. It's like it used to be harder, used to be more, how to say, you know, there used to be like back in the days everywhere in any countries, like you used to separate the territories, used to be more violent, you know.
Harder to get,
harder to get, you know, harder to come up and everything. I remember back in the days, just to have a small boombox was like for 100, you know. It's like really in a shitty quality, man, on the tape. Just press play down there and everything, go the sound, and we're still going, you know. Everybody's like, you know, try to drop the rhymes and everything on the top, you know, because we couldn't get the beats and everything. We just cut the small piece of, you know, material and everything, put it outside, you know, try to break dance, showing the new moves, you know, the combos and everything, you know. It was like, back in the days, it was from the heart, more real, you know, like, my people's like, MCs like B-boys, Graph, and DJ, you know, it was like 4 element, main of them, you know, it was like we didn't have from who to learn, let's say in Lithuania wise.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I think that was the problem everywhere.
Yeah, they was innovating, you know.
Yeah. In the beginning, you never know where to learn.
Because everything started in the States, you know. Most everybody was like mainly following whatever going on in the States, you know. But now in these days, new people coming up, you know, have a recipe now.
Yes.
The idea, and now they creating their own, you know, coming up more and more new artists as well, you know, worldwide.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to Into Deep Records.
Well, basically, like, you know, I came in UK, you know, you know, got together with the Elements and everything, you know, like more movement, other international artists. We start to do a lot of new tracks, new things as well. So, and at the time, I was buying the new things like keyboards, drum machines, mixers and everything, and putting everything together bit by bit until it like came in a small lab, you know, and everything. And we'll establish it as Into Deep Records, with associate, you know, for us, like being in the golden years in the hip-hop, underground hip-hop movement, like Into Deep, you see. That's a vision, that's a definition of this name, let's say this way, you know.
Into Deep.
Yeah, Into Deep, basically. And then it became records, you know, independent, which is, like, from our perspective, I have to give loads of props and big shout-outs to people who still doing it and try to do it, you know, with the home labs, you know, independent labels and everything. That's what the real artists, real music seeks down there, you know.
All right.
And where the best beats created, even in the States, many of the best albums and the beats was created like in the small bedrooms, you know, home labs and everything. Obviously, they took for the engineers, you know, to master edit.
To finish off.
Yeah, to finish off, and then and you can hear loads of nice tunes, like producers, even as DJ Premier, for example. He started in the basement. He started in the basement, same as Jay Dilla as well. Is one of his rooms in the house as well. You know, Ninth Wonder as well, at home. You know, everybody is like many of the producers and MCs and graph writers and whatever. The old ones, you know, they have their own responsibilities and everything. They have a family to feed. Most of them have different jobs as well.
Yeah.
They still don't give up, you know, try to do whatever they like to do.
That's the life, innit? We can never give up.
Still spread the word, you know, still follow the beliefs, you know, don't sell their soul.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
Never give up.
Yeah. Because many of the artists, we're talking Lithuania or whatever, you know, come up by selling the shit, like, you know, commercial thing, radio hits, talking about tits, you know. It's like, this is not the way, you know. This is not the way.
What type of people come to record Into Deep Records?
We're talking about breakbeat, underground hip hop, up to R&B, you know, but still golden years, you know. And artists from Portugal, Lithuania, Thailand, you know, China, Japan, France, Gambia, South Africa, obviously Germany as well, you know. And then I'm trying to involve as much as I can, like real artists, you know, from the streets, who's doing it still underground and everything, you know. Singers as well, they doing like R&B based stuff, but still on underground tunes. Not like in these days, like R&B, you can hear it. It's not even R&B. It's like it's like a club music, like laser show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, none of this. You know.
So, well, let's go back to ringtone rappers. Yeah.
Yep.
The new generation of rap music.
Ringtone rappers, you know, is like mainly because they beats is like like a microwave, like you setting up on the 2 minutes your chicken, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna rap on the top, go beep 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 beep, you know, like no. And this is a nonsense, you know. This is a nonsense, you know. There's no message involved.
Yeah.
Not real music, you know. But some in these days, the new kids, they will say that this is underground, and then you know, like, which is really funny, you know. And then they try to rap and everything. It's like, oh man, but they not even know the you know, the hip hop roots, you know, how they started, the whole history, you know. It's like, oh man, it's like, it's totally wrong. It's totally wrong, you know. It's like, that's why I support the underground artists who try to kill the ringtone rappers, you know, try to against go. You know, some people who listen, they go all the time negatively by dissing, you know, ringtone rappers and everything. No, they just try to bring the old hip hop back on the track the way it's supposed to be. The gods, the people who, you know, who started, you know, gave it to us, you know, to use it on the right purpose. You know, to keep it in the same lane, you know. Now it's like, it's over.
Yeah.
Over the crossing the lines. It's crossing the lines over too much, you know. But I'm glad to hear, you know, internationally wise, that more and more fighters, you know, like underground classic, golden year artists, you know, coming back, you know, in the ring and then trying to take over.
Yeah. Okay. Kids are watching this conversation now, yeah? What would you tell them?
Yeah, you know, stay more streets, you know, not necessarily crime-wise and everything, but just, you know, involve more culture, bringing more history on the map and everything, you know. Like, you know, more philosophy, more teaching lyrics, you know, more knowledge and everything, you know. It's like, and then obviously beat-wise is very important as well, you know, what sort of use, you know, bring a little bit of funk, jazz, you know, back, you know, the old rhythm and blues, you know, and everything, and rock as well, the old rock as well, all these elements, you know, join in one, you know, slowly, but we generated the real hip-hop, so for them as well.
Now it's even easier. Now
even these new keyboards, new MIDI controllers, new things, new technology that they can afford it in these days to buy, kids.
Yeah.
You don't have to use it the way it's supposed to be, like for the club music. You can divert it into a heavy underground movement, you know, like and heavy tunes, you know, and this is the way you're supposed to do, you know.
But where should these kids go to get this culture, to get information about the culture?
They started. They need to dig more and more in the crates, more in the library, more in the history itself, you know.
Yeah.
Listen, whatever the old generation, the MCs, you know,
where
like
they started,
MCs, where they started, you know, what they tried to say, you know, and then also, like involve in their own, you know, movement, more knowledge, more messages, instead of talking about dry speeches, which is, you know, about the cars and everything. It's like artists like myself, like, you know, nigga war and all elements of the global art. We don't care, you know, about how fat is your chain, or, you know, how big rims what sort of size your car rims is, or whatever, you know, how you doing, and what sort of cabbage in your pocket you have. We don't care, man, because this is not the real music. This is not the real thing, you know, what you do. You need to bring whatever, you know, the truth, the story, you know, the testament, the whatever you see, whatever you know, the people do, you know, the all element styles as well, you know, you know, represent as well your own flag, your own beliefs, you know.
Yeah. So anything else you want to tell to the kids?
Yeah, man. Just keep more positivity, you know. Try to, you know, come up, you know, try to come up in a better way by not selling your soul, you know, by doing a right way as well, you know. Try to escape from the blocks, from the, you know, from the bad living and everything, you know. Try to find a better way, you know. Try to, well, by not selling your soul, just to get there as well.
Yeah.
But the kids who's who don't have to do nothing with the hip hop and with the rich families and everything, and still got the nice flow and everything. You know, they just spoiling the game. They just polluting the game, let's say this way, because the hip hop is something about the struggle, representing a hard life, spreading knowledge, you know, messages and everything, how to get out from the bad things. And then and these kids, they never saw bad life with the silver spoon and talking a rough rhyme like ba 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 about involving with the drug thing and everything. No. This is totally whack. This is not the way it's supposed to be, you know.
Any props for your people?
Yeah, props to, you know, all the peoples in Lithuania down there. You know who you are, you know, who's still doing it, you know, classic, you know, 90 golden year hip hop, you know what I mean? All element styles, whatever you do, you know, don't let your head down, you know, just keep going forwards, you know, and then not only for Lithuania, internationally, worldwide, you know, like for the peoples, for the kids, you know, just don't give up, follow your dreams, you know, and keep going forwards. Practice as well. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of sacrifice to step, you know, and then make a good beats, you know, become a good producer, MC or whatever element you chose to do it, you know. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of years, a lot of knowledge. And just keep going forwards. As well, I want to give a big props, you know, shout out to all the people with the home labs who still doing it, you know, creating it as well, have their own families, responsibilities, but still doing it. You don't give up, you know. Still try to make it, you know, still drop the message, still leave a testament after themselves, you know. It's like give a shout out, you know, to Portugal, you know. To Lithuania, obviously, you know, to Japan, to Germany, to France, you know, to China, you know, to Gambia, to South Africa, you know, all African continents. Yeah, and you know, my people's down there, you know who you are, you know, it's like big up, you know, one love, one
peace.